Now can you hear me? Yes, now I saw the mic go green. There we go. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes I have to turn the mic on for one of them. And, yep, I assume you can hear me now. I saw it go green on the bottom. Ah, there we go. Very good, very good, very good. Let me turn this bringer off here. So this is not quite as wide as I would want it to be. Let me see if I can move this back a little bit without having my laptop fall on the ground. Yes, now you can. Very good, very good, very good. Move this out of the way. So yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that. It's different with every setup I do with the mic. Like if I use the GoPro, I have to have the sound on anyway. Good morning. Thank you very much, DeFingers. You just gave me a tip through Buy Me a Coffee. I can't thank everybody enough. Can't thank you enough. I appreciate that. It really means a lot to me. Darren and Paolo and Ray and everybody that has. It's very much appreciated. It really is. So, wow, 15 people already. Okay. So we're just going to jump right in. Obviously, I got, hello, Kenneth. I got some samples from Hornby the other day. I was pretty surprised. Just got your Batmobile. Very good, very good. Hello, Garth. I just got some samples the other day from Hornby. I was not expecting the stuff that I got. I was expecting maybe, they'd send me a sample or two of some cars that had actually been released already. But not only did they not send me that, they sent me cars that aren't even going to be out till the end of the year. I don't know why. But to be fair, I guess it really doesn't matter, does it, folks? So, we've talked about the C8, right? Yeah, the camera is a little questionable on my laptop. I'm sorry. Hello, Jersey Mike. Please don't judge the colors by what you see here. Although you can see that, well, maybe you can. This is definitely the correct yellow for the C8, and this, you can tell, I hope, is a little more orange. And that's really what the color on this is. It's not quite a yellow. It's kind of an orangey yellow. Anyway, so the C8, shockingly not coming until the fourth quarter of this year. I've shown the chevrons on the bottom, and I've shown inside the car. Yes, it's an inline. They decided to keep this an inline, and I talked with Simon about this when I still worked there. All of the other modern GT cars are inlines. And it makes sense, as most slot car folks would agree, that if you have a motor configuration, that it's really good to stick with that motor configuration, right? If you're going from car to car, from new mold to new mold. Hello, Chris. Thanks for showing up. Holy cow, 21 people. Goodness. It's fantastic. So they've stuck with an inline for the C8. So, yeah, I mean, would people like it? Really, would people really like it if it was a Sidewinder? Yeah, of course. But, it's a really nice looking car. It's nice and wide. And it's pretty low. I think it's going to be a really good slot car. It's going to be nice. It's going to be, it doesn't weigh a lot. Actually, I should weigh it. Where is my scale? I don't know where my scale is. Damn it. Travis, hey, you legend. So I was going to mention something. So everybody, 26 of you, if you haven't subscribed to Travis's YouTube channel, that slot car guy, please go and do so. He's a good guy. He does a lot for the hobby. I think I really like the classic cars that he reviews, and he and I had some chats about this on a Facebook chat. I like that he's doing kind of like older stuff that people might have, a car that people might have missed, a classic car that might be not kind of on people's radar. So it's cool to see kind of older stuff, because like there's more people that do like the more current cars, and I think it's really cool that he's doing like the vintage cars, because a lot of the cars I've never seen either. I mean, I think he had a 240Z a couple weeks ago, and hey, Vin, no RX-7 yet, man. Sorry. I appreciate you following up. Yeah, so go check out Travis's channel and please sub to it. He's a good guy, and it's cool to have a variety of voices that are YouTubers, and it's cool. I think we all need to support each other. All the YouTubers that there's a few of us that do slot car content. We really need to support each other, because it's not a big community, and everyone in the community knows everybody else. So anyway, please go check out that slot car guy if you get a chance. So I'm going to talk about the Bastos. This is the 78 79 body. If you've ever had a Camaro, and I have, hey Warren, good for stopping. Hey Jeff, thanks for stopping by. 31 people, hot damn. So I had, my first car was a 76 Camaro. They changed every few years. It's going good, Warren. They changed every few years. So the first, Chevy, the first car that Skelectric did was kind of like a 70 and a half, 71, I think maybe up to a 72. No, you had a 75? Yeah, I had a 76. So this car that Skelectric has done represents the 78 79 body. Now in 80-81, they switched to a different type of a hood, scoop. It was the air induction, which they weren't really very interesting to a lot of people, because they only came with, the maximum was I believe a 305. And then also the vents on the side were different. I think the tail lights might have been different, but well, I'm not really sure. But so what's cool about this is like, it's nice that they changed the details that they changed. They really nailed the grills, and especially the headlight bezels. If you're a fan of a Camaro, the 78 79s have a very kind of specific look to them, right? It's they were black, the Z28s. They were kind of like very deep looking. It's hard to describe, but if you've had one of these cars or seen them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They had a very kind of inset look to them, the headlight bezels, and the grills had a very specific look to them as well in 78 and 79. And I think in 80-81 as well, they kind of kept the grill and the headlight bezel, the nose of the car basically the same. And I think they really nailed it with this. They got the vents on the side of the car right. And I mean, it's definitely, it's a good looking Camaro. One mistake, and this is, for Camaro nerds like myself, it's unfortunate. It's not a deal breaker. I don't want to make too much about this. This is the wrong logo for 78 79. See if I can get that close so you guys can see it. That is the logo for the pre like 75, but definitely 76, 77. That was the Z28 logo. This is not a logo on the bottom. The vent holes is not the logo for 78, 79. The Z28 was a different font. It was more angular looking, more square. Let's see if they got the logo on the side here. No, they don't. But it was more angular looking, more square, and it was kind of like hash marks that they made into the logo. And this one, the Z is bigger, and then the 28 is a little smaller. Look, it's the cooling holes. It doesn't really matter all that much, but it's not correct. Anyway, the livery itself looks really great. The color looked really great. The word Bastos on the side, and you can't see this on the webcam here on my laptop because it's not a great camera. 40 people, goodness, wow. The logo on the side and around the Bastos, the lettering, it's lettered in gold. It's really fine detail on the decoration on the car. Really sets this car off. It's something about it. It really sets it off for me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the attention to detail that they did on this, and the level of the quality of the decoration that they did on this. That really, it means a lot as an American and as a fan of the Camaro to get such a nice representation. This may be a prototype because I'm just looking at it here, and this isn't tampo printing. These are decals, whatever you want to call them. You're never going to be able to see this, and it'll be interesting to see if on the release car, the production car, I'm not sure if this is a pre-production car, but what you see sometimes is kind of like a little edge around on all of the details, and that means it's a decal, not just paint that's stuck on the car. And that's definitely, I can see a seam there, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that you can tell that there's an edge to it, which probably means that this whole side, it is. I can see the split. The split in the decal is right there, right on the A and right on the B pillar. So this whole side is one decal, and then the hood is another one. Yeah, I can see it when I turn it in the light here. But that's not to take away from this car. This is a really nice looking car. Again, pleased that they did such a nice job with this. The IROC. So this is technically, I believe the decoration on this was done on a Z28. It might have been a different hood on the car. This car existed in real life. Simon Owen, who is the executive in charge of cars at Scalextric, he really liked this. Really liked this decoration, and he wanted to do this car next. So we had talked about this when I was there. It was. Oh, when did we talk about this? It was before I went to England last. So before December 2019, December 2019. This car was pretty much set in stone then, and I can see that this is another decal, because I can see the split. There's like a seam that goes the whole way across there. But again, it's not to take away from this. You may not even notice this if you get this car, and again, it may be tampo printed. They do kind of a mix. Hey, Harry! Oh my God, Harry! Slotfather is here. Harry Wise, everybody. You need to follow Harry Wise for everything, because he's the man. I mean, if you don't know who Harry Wise is, I don't know. Mario Baskin. Mario, thanks for showing up, Mario. Um, Home Racing World. John, goodness, everybody's showing up today. Holy cow. You need to follow, you need to go to Home Racing World, join. It's the best message board. It's very welcoming to new folks. Harry keeps a tight leash on the shenanigans that might happen. And Rebellion. Hey, dude, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. For toy cars, not for World of Tanks. So you need to go. Chris Schaefer, good Lord, everybody, all the nerds are showing up. 43 people. This is blowing me away. You need to go to Home Racing World if you're a slot car person and hang out there for the best information that you can get, the best folks. And Harry was one of the first guys that helped me when I kind of got back into the hobby in like about 2001, 2002-ish. He is he's been, pretty much invaluable to the modern hobby. He's had his hands in many projects for many different companies behind the scenes. And Home Racing World on YouTube, Home Racing World on homeracingworld.us, and then on Facebook, Home Racing World on the message board there. Go Barbecue Master, yes. If you haven't had a slot burger in Dixon, Missouri, and I've had a few, good God, you got to visit Harry, the No-Tell Motel in Dixon, Missouri. Stay there for a night. It's a lot of fun. Back to the Duracell. So the Duracell, this is technically, I think, not correct for the IROC body. I forget exactly. You do make a mean salsa. Good Lord, don't tell them their salsa isn't hot enough. Trust me. This is technically not correct for the IROC. Nobody's going to care. It doesn't absolutely matter. I think it's cool that they've carried on the IROC body, making more decorations of it. I'm sure there's going to be more coming in the future. This was one of the last projects that I worked on while I was there, so obviously, it's near and dear to my heart. But it's cool that it's cool that Hornby has kept going with that car. Next, yes, a Holbert RSR. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. And Porsche logo on the bottom. Let me get that just right so people can see it without it too glaring. And there we go. I agree, Harry. Totally agree. It's good to see the mold keep going. So the Holbert car. There's how much can I say about this? Let's just put it this way. They're not going to be able to do the IROC Porsches. Porsche won't let them. I'll just say that. So let's not, scream, cry the blues about it. Kind of the less said, the better, frankly. But there's a lot of good Porsches that they can do. Yes, it's another Porsche. Harry and I have had this discussion a lot. Does the world need another 911? I think, I don't know. It's great that Skelectric have done this. Yeah, Harry. It's definitely been in a few cars. Like I already showed the R8 and then the Z, which, technically, unfortunately, they got the wrong logo on the bottom of this. Again, not a deal breaker, but for Camaro nerds, it's an older. Hello, Mark. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it. So, yes, it's another 911. I like it. It's nice it filled a niche. I'm sure this car is going to run really well. I haven't run it yet. I just did get this the other day. I think it's nice that Skelectric have done this RSR. I like the T-tray on the back, or the whale tail. I guess it's a whale tail, not a T-tray, isn't it? I, I like it. I mean, yeah, it's another 911, but it's from Skelectric. It's nice that we're going to have a nice, good running car. It's not going to be that expensive, $50 or less, whatever the price turns out to be by the time it gets here. I think it's cool that Skelectric have done this car. It's not a car that I personally pushed for while I worked there. I mean, not that that really matters. I want to make that clear. But I don't want to say argue against this car, but I don't know. It's another 911. Chris Knight. Oh, it's hot in England. Yeah, I was watching a little earlier. I was watching a streamer, DayZ streamer, and he's in England, and he said it was really hot. It's cold here. It's nice. It's like England here. It's raining, drizzly, chilly. I guess it would be. I mean, it's like maybe 60 degrees here, less, like in the 50s. So that's what, like 12 Celsius maybe, or 14 Celsius, 16. I don't know. It's chilly. It's chilly. It's a lot like England here today, which I kind of like. I got this extra layer of protection here, so I could always use a chilly day. Cheers, everybody. Polish Racing Drivers Association. Whether you all know it, you're all members. Needed a shot of coffee there. Did you miss the Z report? Yes. The Z report, to recap, it's good. Hey, Paolo, thank you very much. Siempre sana. It's the Z really feels like they did a great job with it. It's really, it feels right. I owned a 76, and I think they did a good job with this car. I haven't compared it to the other F-body, the Trans Am Camaro. I haven't. Yeah, it's well. Thank you very much, Harry. So I need to do a side by side with the other Camaro, just so people can see the any differences, which I think is probably a good idea, just to let people know, because everyone knows that car. So what else are we going to talk? We're going to talk about Batman for a second. No. Yes. Thanks, LEB, for sending a sample. Yes. This was something that I pushed for years with Carrera, and when I got the Skelectric, I talked with when Simon got elevated to the position he's in, and then Martin came in a couple months after I started with the company. I really pushed that we do a Batmobile, and this didn't all come out of me. So what we were talking about, hey Dean, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. We were talking about this in the US. Ed and I, my boss at the time, Ed and I. Ed was also my boss at Carrera, by the way. Funny how that works out. So there you can see it on the light. Hey Ray, thanks for showing up. We were talking about this car. I talked about it with Justin, the sales manager for the US, and I had always wanted the Barris Batmobile. George Barris designed this car in real life from the Futura, and so I talked to Simon and Martin, And basically we were all agreement kind of immediately. They came at it, and I said, hey, I've always wanted to do the Barris Batmobile, the TV show Batmobile. And they said, yes, we were just discussing that too. We need to really we need to do that car. And we were all in agreement. It was all we both kind of came at it at the same time. And I'm just thrilled with how the car looks. In real life, this is a massive, massive, massive car. The Futura probably was about 30 feet long, or maybe a shade less, but maybe not much. I think this may be small. I said this to the designer at the time, or the designer when I was there. I saw the body. It was just a mold. It was like a test shot of one of the first test shots of the mold. So it was just like a not clear, but kind of like a milky kind of plastic, which they use for, it's like a slush or whatever that they call it, that they use just to inject the mold, to check it out, to see what the mold looks like. And I said, this looks a little small, because the Futura was, it was literally tremendous. Look, should it be? If you look at the car, it's way narrower than the C8. Should a Futura be narrower than a C8? Should a Futura? The Futura is a little longer than the IROC. If you put the nose to the nose, yes, it's a little longer. This was a tremendous car in real life. Doesn't matter if it's under scale. I don't know. I want to say yes, but it is a toy car. It's meant to be, it's meant to be a fun thing. Does that prevent you from enjoying it? No. Harry and I talk about this all the time. Is it a slim can? I haven't opened it up. Okay. Yeah, maybe because it's so small in there. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I don't think it really matters. And people are going to say, well, yeah, you're giving them a pass because it's electric. You should be hard on them. Should I? It's a toy car. It's not only that, but it's like a kid's car. It's a collector's car. It doesn't, it's its own thing. They're going to be able to keep this car in the line for a decade. They're going to be able to make more of these. They probably will make more of them. They should make more of them. It's great for the hobby to have this kind of thing. I think Indy cars. No, sorry. I'll get off on a rant on Indy in a second if you'd like. No Indy. I don't think any scale issue with this car matters a damn bit. Hey, Mikey. I really don't think it matters. Should Robin be there? I don't know. Yes. I saw in an interview that Caitlin, who is the designer, she did this car. She did that. She did the IROC. I don't know about the other cars. She said that it would have increased the cost of the car quite a bit to sculpt a Robin figure. There's a lot of detail in a figure, right? And there's painting detail on a figure that increases the cost. Any increase in cost at the production level is massively magnified at the retail level. A quick story. Years ago, when I worked for SCX, I was able to take out so on the SCX COTs that we made, right? There were 5 body screws. 2 in the front, 2 kind of in the middle, 1 in the back. Why, right? Why? I told them you could take out these kind of body screws in the middle and it saved them like, I don't know what it was, half a cent on every car because of the extra pieces and the time it takes to put in those extra screws. They were thrilled with me being able to save them a couple cents on every few cars, because then that means, frankly, you don't have to charge more for the car, right? So if Batmobile had a Robin figure in it with all that extra painting on a second figure, the extra time to make the figure, yes, I believe it would have increased the cost drastically. If you look at the car, there is a ton of detail in the car. In the interior, there's a lot of different paint details, from like there's like a handle, the ejection seat thing, I guess, or whatever. There's a lot of different paint highlights inside the interior that they probably had to do to make it look, close, or, to give it that much detail. Because when you look in a car, if there's little paint touches, little details of paint to catch your eye, it just adds a lot more to the enjoyment of the car, even if it's only a few little details, right? So it probably would have increased the cost. She needs to agree with me, or I need to agree with her. I believe what Caitlin says, it would have increased the cost of the car way too much for, what it would have added to the car. Then they'll have to buy. Yes, Mark. That's definitely a thing. They could absolutely charge for another car then, if they put a Robin inside it. Absolutely, they could. Do I begrudge them? No. It's a company. They're trying to make money. It's a business. It's not a charity. They got to make money. It makes sense. Far more. Yeah, it looks exactly, Chris. It looks right, and that's the most important thing. Absolutely. So pet mouse, yes. He's cute, isn't he? It's a dead cat. All my cats are dead. My microphone. How about a Dave figure? Oh God, no. I don't know that I'd fit in there. Even a 1/32 scale, I'm a lumpy man. So anyway, so it's not going to take away the enjoyment of the car. I don't think kids are going to care. And yeah, I mean, what are you going to say? I think it looks fantastic. The Joker kidnapped. So we were talking about that, right? They said, so if we make the Batman car, what car could be like the bad guy car with it? And I said, we'll make a Joker car, make it into a VW Beetle, or the Penguin, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's the cool thing about a car like the Batmobile. If you get a vintage car, about the same kind of era, so a Beetle, the Reliant Robin, I think would be fun. If anyone from Scalextric is watching, you're welcome. Make the Penguin Reliant Robin. The damn thing would fall over and going around the corner. It would be hilarious. Or the Joker Reliant Robin, or whoever. I think that would be great. Or one of the old, what do they do? The Capris or something like that, or an Escort, or a Mini. Who cares? It's a fun thing. Relax, people. Reliant Robin, exactly. Gotham PD cop car. Yeah, exactly. There's a million possibilities that you just got to get a little, have a little fun with stuff. It's a toy car, folks. We don't need to get too wound up about this shit. Jesus. Sorry. 48, 50 people. There's there's a lot of folks. Whoops. Uh-oh. Bumped the button. Um, so anyway, yeah, I always wanted an ejection seat. Yeah, an ejection seat, exactly. All right, so that's kind of the car rant for the day. Buddy, okay, bonnet call today. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna have more videos about not the Batmobile, but these other newer cars, the Porsche and the new Z and the new Porsche, the new Z and the new Z. Also, worth pointing out, folks, American cars. Scalextric does a lot of them, and I think this was something that I tried to highlight when I was working there. I don't know that they get enough credit for as many American cars as they put out. Carrera, years ago, I did a kind of a report for Carrera when I worked there, and I went through all the years. I have all the old catalogs over here, going back to about 2003, 2004, I think maybe. And I went through and I counted all of the American cars that were offered each year, right? So there was, I think the first year that I figured it out, there was maybe 25 American cars. And then each year I would count the carryovers as cars that were also available. So it started kind of at the high end, like there were, let's say there were six sets with American cars, and then like over 24, let's say, American cars. And then gradually it kind of stepped down each year. And then the last year I worked there in 2017, we were down to, or they were down to, one carryover American set and 3 U.S. cars. 3. That's it. Pretty pathetic, frankly. And now, I see that they're doing definitely more American cars, which is good. But Hornby, and these are hard numbers here. So, hey Corey, good morning. So about 50 new cars a year. Hornby does about 50 new cars a year, right? That's kind of the production quota that they have. That's kind of the amount of cars that they produce each year. Okay, 50. 10 of that 50 are Australian cars. The Australian market is huge for them. It's their second. The American market and the Australian market kind of flip-flop between 2 and 3 as far as their market goes, right? So one year the Australian market will be 2, and the next year it'll be 3. Maybe. It's usually a little bit bigger than the U.S. market. So they get about 10 new cars a year. And that includes a few new molds, because the Australian distributor for Hornby, they put their money where their mouth is, and they do a lot of Australian cars. So of that 50, 10 are Australian, 10 are American. That's the number. The 2 years that I was there, that's the number that I was allowed to play with, or that I was allowed to make suggestions for. It wasn't just my suggestion, right? So I had about that number of existing molds to play with. Now each year they've added a new American mold, right? So when I was there, we added the IROC, and we were starting to work on, because I put them in touch with this guy, Steve Stanton, who is a VP at General Motors, and he is in charge of licensing consumer goods, something like that. I have his card over there. I've been talking to him recently for another project. So they did the C8. They started to do the C8 while I was there, and Yeah, so this was each year they're trying to add a new U.S. mold. If the U.S. can sell enough, and if the mold itself is a mold that they can sell worldwide, then that obviously helps too. Obviously, the IROC not really going to sell worldwide. It just isn't. But the C8, of course, and now especially since Carrera has had whatever issue they've had, now they have Skeletric has the whole market to themselves. Let's be honest. If they can get this car out this year, I don't know why. I haven't asked them, and I don't want to put them on the spot. Like, so the car I have is a production car, right? I mean, everything about this is production. There's the licensing information that's molded into the bottom. The Hornby logo is molded into the bottom. This is not an out and out prototype of a car. I have some prototypes here. The chassis is a different color, even if it's a painted body or a decorated body. The chassis is like a smooth plastic. This is obviously a production car. If someone outside of the company, me, has a production car in May, why in the heck is it fourth quarter? Hello, Clint. Why in the heck is it fourth quarter until they can have this car out? I don't know. Now, Dean, it's not only that. It's not only the Le Mans cars. It's American cars in general. Do not sell outside of the U.S., regardless of whether it's an American, regardless of where it runs. It really doesn't matter. If it's a car that was a U.S. car, hello, Joseph. Thank you very much for showing up. Hello, Andre. I'll answer your question and David's question in a second. So it's, it has to do with the type of car that it is. If it's an American car, it frankly doesn't matter. Or if it's a car that only raced in the U.S., that really hampers it as well. Anyway, so David asks, Carrera feeling lost. They seem to miss out on the accessory market. You mean parts? Parts are a huge issue regardless, because parts really don't sell all that well. So if you have, let's say this Porsche, right? Let's say you want some parts for it. Well, what parts can you make for it? Or what parts can you sell for it, in theory? A set of tires, probably all of this mold, regardless of the color of the mold, will have these tires. Okay, so you could sell these tires. But what if you had to make this car with different lettering on the side from one release to another? Someone might say, well, I don't want the white letter tires on my RSR, my Holbert RSR, because it had black sidewalls, right? So someone might complain, well, it's not the exact right tires, blah, 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 blah. So that's the problem with parts. Also the wheels, right? If the next Porsche that they do has different wheels on it, and you've done these wheels, these are 5-spoke wheels. This is really hard to see. I'm sorry. It's, even though it's out of focus, you can kind of see it. They're 5-spoke wheels. They're excellent looking wheels. Very plain, but excellent looking. The shapes look really good. 5-spoke wheels with kind of like a knockoff, or not a knockoff, but a center 6-sided octagonal lug in the middle. But if the next one has, I don't know, mesh wheels like these, like a BBS kind of a style mesh wheel. Well, if you have the parts for this RSR with front and rear axles in a pack, and then tires in a pack, and then the next car that they release has white letters on the side or yellow letters on the side, and then mesh wheels, someone won't necessarily want the wheels for this or the tires for this to go onto this release of the car. Does that make sense? I know it's a long way to around why not, but that's really why not. That's really why it's really hard to sell parts, and parts just don't sell. We had thousands of parts at Carrera, all kinds of older stuff that I'm sure people wanted, but it was like a wing for only one Corvette, and the next Corvette wing had was a completely different color and it had a different sponsor logo on it. You know, so people are very particular. They just are about the parts they want, and they like a generic black wing just won't work. It may sound a little counterintuitive, and you know, I don't care about just a plain black wing. If like the wing on my C8R breaks off, and this one thankfully just pops off very easily. If the wing just kind of breaks off, it's better to have a black wing than no wing, right? I mean, that's my opinion. So that's why not parts. Do you know why there are so many Carrera products delayed or on back order? I don't know. I don't really talk to anybody at the company. Why are things delayed? Well, so there's a number of reasons why things can be delayed. There may be a backup in China. There may be, and I've talked about this. There's shipping issues coming out of China. There's raw materials issues coming out of China. There's a million issues coming out of China that make it really, really, really difficult to get things out now and to get things made. I've been getting emails from Robert at LEB. Thank you very much. He's been sending me a ton of emails about, and see if I can do this without ruining my stream here. Oh no, I can't. Actually, I can bring up and I'm looking at my computer. I'm using my computer here while I'm doing this. There we go. Okay, so I'll just read the email here. Excuse me. FYI from a friend, just paid $15,000 for a 40-foot high cube container. They used to pay $3,200. If you want, you can only pay $8,000, but it won't go on a boat at least 4 weeks plus 4 weeks more on the water. So normally it would have cost somebody $3,200, right? But now it may cost them as much as $15,000. That's just for the container, folks. That's not even for the cost of shipping. That's just for the freaking container. Well, it is for the cost of shipping. But so the costs are astronomical. Further, the cost. Okay, so this equates to the following. In 2019, it's about $1.08 per cubic foot. Okay, hold that thought. May 2021, now it's $5 a cubic foot. So that's how much the cost coming out of China just to ship something has gone up. That's not raw materials, right? That's not production. That's not raw materials costs. That's not, all the other costs associated with this. So freight on a Skelectric car, 2019 freight, and this is broken down by car. This is how granular you have to get with this stuff if you're in business. Was 14.7 cents basically. Now it's 69 cents cost freight on a car. That is a 372% increase. Okay, more. Carrera raised their price effective August 1st. The increase was not unreasonable, but the cost has gone up because they're expecting the cost of goods to be shipped out is going to just be astronomical. So Maersk Shipping, first quarter profits overall, first one. Maersk, which is a shipping company, their profit increased to $4.4 from 1.5 billion year over year, 3.1 billion increase in 1 year. So this is the profit that everyone is taking. There's a tremendous amount of cost associated with shipping out of the Orient, and this is not just China. So let's not dump on China. There's going to be shipping cost out of Vietnam, out of India, out of Korea. This is where all cheap labor is. And let's face it, folks, if you had to have this made in the U.S. and pay somebody, $15 an hour, which is what, if you had to pay someone $15 an hour instead of, I don't know what it costs in China, $20 a week, a few cents an hour. If the cost was, 30 times more to produce a car in the U.S., we wouldn't have $40 cars. We wouldn't. This is the problem. I'm not saying that U.S. workers shouldn't be paid. Lord knows I'd like to be making $20 an hour. But you can't, it's just the cost is so high in the U.S. to produce anything. I'm just saying it is high. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be paid. I'm not saying things should be made here in the U.S. I really wish we could get slot cars made in the U.S. I would prefer slot cars be made here. Realistically, they just really can't, unfortunately. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. Thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate it. So why are Carrera back ordered? They just moved. They didn't have a warehouse in New Jersey anymore. They stopped having a warehouse about a year or so after I got let go. They switched to a third-party provider, a third-party shipping, which means that they just ship everything into a warehouse, and then the warehouse does all the fulfillment for them. We looked into that. The problem is the cost of a third-party fulfillment is absolutely astronomical. They charge you every time they print an invoice. They charge you every time they have to handle everything. I mean, when you have a warehouse and your own employees, all that cost is obviously factored into the cost of business, of course. But when you break it down to every single piece of paper, every single time anyone does anything for your brand with a third-party fulfillment, and I mean, we looked at this for months when I was at Carrera. We had many discussions about doing third-party fulfillment, and the cost then was just we would have had to have raised the price of the cars at least 20%. I don't even know. It was so much. Yeah, Jersey Mike. Yeah. Tolls. Yeah, tolls. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's bad. It's not good for the companies either. I mean, these companies don't want to have to pay more for the goods they've been buying because it throws everything off, right? It throws the whole production schedule off because then you have to reevaluate. Do you make this car? Do you not make this car? I'm working with another company now. I can't really talk about it yet. I'm doing some product work for them, right? And we're talking about a new license, and the licensor required that we had certain minimums, and we had to get to a certain minimum commission or a certain minimum payment that they would accept. So we had to add in more products just to get their minimum fee for a license, which, I mean, it is what it is. That's a price of doing business. No, sorry, Harry. So, I mean, it's just the price of doing business, whatever, that's the price. But, so, sometimes there's a lot of unforeseen things when you start doing cars. There's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration. Move this down a little bit here. Am I still on the top there? No. Yeah, lumpy old man moving his computer around. How do I do this? There we go. Pro streamer. Yeah, yes, David, I agree. So they may have been out of certain items because they're consolidating, because they didn't want to move things. Although, like I said, they didn't have a warehouse, so that's not really probably a reason. Maybe they didn't want to. They moved to a new warehouse from their other warehouse, and they wanted to sell through the stuff that was in the third-party warehouse. And now, since they're consolidated with Revell, Ken, Pioneer. Let's be honest here. Well, I don't know for sure, so I don't want to be a dick about this just because Jules and I have a thing. The cars are assembled in the UK. Fine. They're assembled there. Does the plastic come from the UK? Do the motors come from the UK? Do the tires? Does the packaging? Maybe. If you want, the Pioneer cars are what, $70? Do you want this car to be $70? Do you? You don't. Let's be honest here. Do you want this car to be $70? You want this car to be $80? You don't. You gotta, yes, exactly, Chris. Exactly. And I'm not saying it's not worth investigating. I think it's simplistic to say, holy cow, 66 people. Good God. It is overly simplistic to say, and it's a little insulting to say, just make everything in the US and, F China. Well, okay. I'm down with F China. I'm down with make everything in the US. You don't want to pay the prices you would have to pay if stuff were made here. Hey, Dawson. It becomes a premium product then. It becomes a slotted car. It becomes an NSR. If you're talking about that kind of cost, you can say, oh, yes. F China, that's fine. F China, I agree with that. But that cost when it comes down to it, I'm not saying greedy America. I'm absolutely not saying that. But when it comes down to it, would you pay $70, $80 for a Scalextric car or a Carrera car? Would you pay that for it? Realistically, I don't think you would. Would they sell as much? No, they wouldn't. They absolutely would not. I'm saying there's no easy answers here, guys. It's not. Yeah, exactly, Area. I'm not saying there's an easy answer here. There's no easy answer. It's not a lot of fun to think about this stuff when you work for a slot car company. That's really what you do, is the stuff that's not a lot of fun. You don't get to play with toys very much. You have to worry about this stuff. You have to fret about it. Hey, Brian. I don't know, man. It's, everything's made in China. Is that going to change? No. Do we all want it to change? Yeah, probably. It's an unpleasant reality. It's just not realistic. And if you're honest with yourself when you're thinking about this stuff, it just sucks. It just sucks that to make cars where we would frankly, no, Mario, it's only going to bring the cost down a little bit. Maybe a little bit, but then people don't want to buy the cars. Like, how many of you Okay, so Mario asks, would less detail bring the cost down? Yes, it would. What do people complain about already? Here, let me get one of these out. Okay. Here you go. Here's an attempt at lower cost. Exactly. People complain with a cardboard box. I prefer a cardboard box to a plastic case. This is cheaper to make. This is better for the environment because there's less plastic in here. It's lighter to ship. It's a lot less prone to complete breakage. Yes, a side of the box could get crushed. I don't care. It's the box. It's the freaking box. It's not the slot car, guys. Okay? People complain endlessly about these boxes. So don't give me this, oh yeah, make them cheaper, put them, blah, blah, blah. It's exactly, it's foldable. It's easier to ship. I mean, it weighs nothing compared to the cases when they would make these cardboard boxes. These could be made in the U.S. very cheaply, and people don't like this kind of packaging. This is a lower detail car, and there were the start cars that they made, right, were low detail black window cars. The first freaking thing people say about the black window cars is what? Oh, it's a black window car. I'm not going to buy that. There's a lower detail car. It's their attempt at making a lower price car, a more cost-effective car. A car that, I mean, let's be honest, they got to make some money. You can't begrudge anyone making a profit. This is not a charity. This is a business, folks. Exactly. No interior, no drivers. Actually, some of these black window cars actually do have an interior just because of the way the mold is done. Don't ask me why. Just doesn't make any damn sense, I know. But anyway, cheers, everybody. Another drink of coffee after my little rant. So, make lower detail cars. No, people won't buy them. They just won't. That's the end of it. I like the detail too. Hello, Mikey. Yep, exactly. I might as well go to Lexan bodies, right? And who the hell wants that? I don't. If I wanted Lexan bodies, nothing against thingies, nothing against the vacuum form stuff. I really don't like that stuff. I have a whole section of my house. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I like the detail. That's why I like the scale. That's why I don't do HO. That's really the only reason I don't do HO. I like the scale. I like that it's a nice model. It's smaller than 124, so you get a smaller car. You can get a more cars on a track because the cars aren't quite so big. But it's the detail that I really like on the 132nd scale cars. I don't want lower detail. The fact is, people won't pay higher prices for it. They just won't. I'm not, saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm saying it's a freaking fact, folks. It absolutely is a fact. So anyway, HL cars are too fast. Yeah, I mean, if you like them, go do it. So I got some guy saying it was a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, he can have his opinion that I shouldn't talk about. That I should talk about all slot cars if I'm going to talk about any slot cars, right? So like slot car news, the guy was getting all over me because I don't do any HO cars. I don't know HO. Why would I do news about HO stuff? It's not something I can talk about. I wouldn't have any legitimacy. I know 132nd. I know 24 scale a little bit, not much. Anyway, that's fine, Dawson. No worries. Yeah, you can make a pyramid. Yeah, I could too. I've thrown so many freaking cases away. I'm sure the recycling people over here near me hate me because I had thrown away, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases when I worked for Carrera. Exactly, Harry. Go start your own channel. Exactly. Go do your own thing. Go do HO Slot Car News. Be my guest. I might even watch it. Yeah, I hate crystal cases. I think everything should come in a cardboard box, right? There you go, cardboard box. Everybody likes a cardboard box instead of a crystal case. They're a lot lighter. They're a little easier to stack too than the kind of, you know how cases stack. It's smaller at the top and bigger at the bottom. Blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, Chris, I'm being stupid. I know. So, any topics? Any other topics? You have all scales. Yeah, I mean, I have 143rd, 132, and 124. Anything else anyone wanted? Oh, someone emailed me that they wanted to ask about controllers. Holy cow, 73 people. Good Lord. This is a high watermark. Yes. Of this Z, let me try to get it close there. They did a good job. It's kind of hard to tell with the coloring on the paint. It's here. I'll move it in front. Hopefully, it'll focus on that. With the coloring on the paint, it's kind of hard to tell the shape just because of the way the rear end is painted. 72. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, John, what can I say? They've done. I think they've done a nice job. I really do. I mean, it's really close. It feels right when I look at it. It's a little less maybe angular. Yes, Dawson. It's a Camaro. It's the 78, 79 body that Chevy made. I had a 76. So I think 75, 76, 77. They had one body, and then 70, 78, 79 is this body, and then 80, 81 was a slightly different body. I mean, slightly different. The hood, Pocono Slot Car Brazil. Hello, Fabio. Obrigado, Fabio. Thank you for showing up. So they had Chevy did slightly different versions of the Camaros. The hood on the 8081 was a cowl induction. There was the hood was a different shape. It didn't have this one has kind of a knock-a duct. And then this is like the shape of the 82 on to what, 90 or 91, I think. It's kind of this more square, kind of angular, kind of boxy shape. So this basically was the shape for 70 and a half to 81, right? And this was basically the shape from 82 to 82 to I think maybe 91. I'm not really sure. Clint, so in general, okay. Clint, so in general, I'll answer your question in a second, Kenneth. In general, when you do a mold like this, you need years of decorations, right? They're not just going to make two and stop. That just doesn't make any sense. You pick a mold that you can make years and years and years of decorations of. So this is what, the fourth? This is the third decoration, I think, of the IROC. They're going to make this thing for years, okay? So every car, if they can make more, I mean, like obviously like the Batmobile, they can only make the Batmobile out of this shape. So they're going to keep re-releasing the Batmobile. So, this is the second generation Camaro body. Exactly. So yeah, they're going to keep making the IROC for years and years and years. Can you compare against an NSR? No, Skelectric you can't compare against NSR. NSR is a lot faster, so you can't do that. From Slot Car Guys at Tailspin, I've been using a Professor motor from a year or so. Is a DeFalco a good controller upgrade? Absolutely. Catfish Camaro, 99 up. I can't say if they would ever do another mold of a Camaro. I mean, it's obviously outside of what I would do. So yes, a DeFalco controller is a really good upgrade from a Professor motor, from pretty much any Professor motor. I've used a DeFalco. I had a DeFalco I used for years and years. The IROC pretty much just raced against itself. That's part of the problem. The Z28s were raced in road racing for a number of years. This is not an IROC. This is a Z28 livery. In the 80s, they didn't really have a lot of racing outside of IROC racing that this body raced in. So there is some other ones that we found, and hopefully they'll do those. So yes, DeFalco, there's a lot of different DeFalcos. There's not just one. Can Revo Slot be compared with NSR? Yes. I would say Revo Slot could be compared with NSR. You're not going to go wrong with any DeFalco. I think you basically it's cost. I mean, DeFalco is going to cost you what, at least $150, $200. I've used several different DeFalcos. I've owned, I think I own two. I sold them. When I race now, I race with a very basic controller. I race with a DS, the PM model of controller. DeFalco, third eye, I call them brown eye. I had a third eye as well. That was like a $300 controller. And I had a lot of problems with that. It was a great controller. Gave you excellent feel with the car. It was nice and light. It was easy to hold, like for a 24-hour race. The problem is the wiper arms lift away really easily. And the clamshell that they use, if you have a tendency of not just pulling the trigger straight back, but of kind of leaning in and then pulling it back, it will pull the wiper arm away from the board, and that'll lose connectivity. I agree, Harry. Yeah. You really, you need to, controllers are definitely a feel thing. I would start with a DeFalco rather than try to step up to something like a third eye. Because then you're talking about Robert Bernhardt. Holy cow. Wow, Robert Bernhardt from LEB fame. Robert Bernhardt is here. Thank you very much for showing up. I've had endless problems with mine, and so have everybody at my club, Robert. It's the wiper arms. They lift away, and SCP2, the slotted controls. I have two slotted controllers. I have an SCP-1 and I have an SCP-1.1, and the feel on them, I don't like the magnetic trigger feel because it's a very numb feel. There's no feedback on the wiper board because it's just the position of the magnet on the board, so to speak. It's definitely controllers are definitely, there's a lot of different options when you think about controllers. Like I said, I think a good place to start is a kind of the cheaper end of a DeFalco. I agree, John. It's the most subjective thing. It is the most personal thing, right? Harry, I'd love to come see you again. I've been to your house, how many times? 4 or 5 times now? Oh, I heard my wife or my son coming downstairs. I'd love to come see you again. I don't see that happening for quite a while, just because of the job that I have now. It would be cool to have a meetup at Harry's. He's in the middle. He's in Missouri. It'd be fun to do a live stream from there. Oh God, that'd be great. And to do some videos and stuff from there, that'd be a lot of fun. I love visiting Harry. He's the best. Yeah, so I definitely look at I'd look at the DS control. I'd use a DS controller. I use the DS PM model, what they call professional model. It's very basic. It's got sensitivity, it's got brake, and that's it. It's a solid, very basic controller. They're not expensive. Maybe $120, but it's very basic. You will get more. I have the SCP one. You know, I might actually sell. I should keep my SCP one. I have two of them: the SCP one and the 1.1. The controller I have, I think I might have it. Where is it? Yeah, I'm not really sure where. Oh wait, I might know where it is. Hold on a second. This is Pro Strat stuff. Hold on. I'm going to get my controller, I think. Hold on for a second. Chair stream. Found it. Ha. All right, let me get my my mouse back attached here. Okay, Pro Streamer, right? So there we go. This is the DS. This is the PM model. This is the controller that I use. This is a very basic controller. Again, brake, sensitivity, trigger. There's a heat sink in there that does get really warm. You know, if you're racing a lot or racing a high amp draw motor, it's got a nice cord. It's got the banana plugs, but I have the clips for the alligator clips, little alligator clips there. This is what, this controller looks large? Good God, no. Or I look large and clumsy. This, and it's got a spring tension adjust, and I have it set very lightly. This controller is very small. This controller is very, very small. This is not a big controller. The Falcos are bigger than this. The third eye is about the same size. I need to start doing giveaways. Yeah, well, you know. Yes, this is the Parma shell. Chris is correct. So this is the size of a Parma controller with just this tiny little bit sticking out here. This is much smaller because the DeFalco boards stick out a lot higher than this. Maybe double this high or a third higher. I mean, it's the size of the pots, the knobs on the controller. This is a great basic controller. I got this from Alan Smith years ago. This was one of the early samples he got from DS. And this is my controller. This is what I use at the club. I know I could be faster with a $200 controller or whatever. I don't care. I'm not spending a lot of money on a controller anymore. I'm just not. Please explain for a newbie. Explain what? What the controller is? I mean, this is just a basic controller. Gives you Dawson, I mean, this is analog racing. It's a lot different than digital racing. There aren't really too many options Yes, correct, Robert. They are smaller and they're also 3 times more expensive than this. Third eye controllers are far in excess of $300. Many of them, certainly more than 250. If you got one that's 120 bucks, I'll buy it because you don't. The knobs. This is brake adjustment. You can dial in more or less brake. This is sensitivity adjustment, more or less sensitivity. ProTech kits had, yes, but they only made those kits for maybe 2 or 3 years. They were horrendous. The detail was garbage. They were based on a 3mm axle. The Scalextric ProTech kits, they were bad. You can adjust the sensitivity, you can adjust the braking, and there's a nice wiper board on there. There's also a spring tension adjustment, so you can adjust the spring tension. So I have it set now for very low spring tension, and if you slide it up, that makes the spring feel a little heavier, so it's harder to pull. And if you like a harder pull, there you go. It's very durable. It's a Parma controller handle, which a Parma controller is kind of a known controller. It's a good feeling controller in your hand. It fits really well right here, kind of where the web of your hand kind of pushes against. I have another one that's or another controller. It's an MRRC controller. That's also a very basic controller. That's also based on the controller clamshell that Third Eye uses. I think it was a Fox controller. I'm not really sure. And that's got a double trigger finger, so you can have 2. This is a single trigger finger, so you can have 2 fingers on the controller. And if you like that, I have it set up for that. That one's a fixed ohm controller. This one's an electronic controller with sensitivity adjustments, that sort of thing. Can you map the throttle on Scalextric ARC? So, no, I don't think. Hey, Travis. Yeah. Finger is, yeah, exactly. I really hate thumb controllers. Like comes in basic controllers. I mean, this is the controller that comes in a Go set. It also looks, and this is a Polycar controller for the Polycar set. RC, hello. Mara, hello. You see the difference in the size here. This is from the Polycar set and also the Go sets. This is, if you cut off the top part, that is a Parma controller, right? Years ago, when I worked for SCX, hold on a second here. Okay. When I worked for SCX, we did, as a basic controller in a set, this is a set controller, we did we got controllers from Parma. So this is just the Parma controller. This, I believe, is a 30 ohm controller. You can see, I mean, it's the exact same clamshell that DS have used. And this one is the 3.5 millimeter mini jack. This was the best set controller, as far as I'm concerned, ever put in a set. This controller feels good. It is good quality. It will last absolutely forever. Parma controllers are fantastic. They're dirt cheap if you can find them. I think they start like $50, maybe even a little less. And they go up, I'm talking about basic controllers here. So this is the Pro controller that we did. And this controller was also the Parma controller. It had a heatsink. It had to cool the resistor at the top here. And I've done some adjustment internally on this one. I've used this quite a bit. You can get, yeah, I know, Parma's gone. You can get an adapter that plugs in here. So you can use this for 3-wire. So positive, negative, and brake. And I've used this at my club. I mean, it's a basic controller, so you don't get the sensitivity, adjustment, the controllability that you get. Like this is a step up. This is good content, right? This is original. This is what you get in the set. It's basic. It's meant to be cheap. This is a basic kind of a step up. This one, rather. This is a basic kind of a step up. This is a standard Parma controller, 30 ohm controller. It's really durable. You'd be able to throw this across the room. It's not going to break. You'd have to work to break this thing. It's going to last literally the rest of your life. This was a SCX Pro controller that we made. Here you go. I found this box the other day. This is a box that I just opened the other day of two SCX Pro controllers. Still in a package. I don't know why I still have these. This was kind of on the top shelf of my. There you go. This was on the top shelf of my slot car shelving out in my garage, and this was a great controller. This was kind of an upgrade to the standard SCX controller, and then this was the connection plug that we use for analog. So you could use this with any SCX standard set that had that 3mm, or you could use this with the Polycar. I bet you could. Where's the connection piece? I'm not sure where the connection piece got to. Anyway, and then this is the current DS that I use. So yeah, I mean, this is a good solid controller. If you're looking for a step up from a Professor motor controller, I think this would be a good step up for you. Definitely. A third eye is going to be absolutely better. I'm not saying it wouldn't be better. It's absolutely more expensive though. Absolutely more expensive. No, man. No, Brian, I'm not giving away my controllers, man. I'm the only one that still has any of these. I gotta keep these so I can talk about them. Because otherwise, if I don't have them, I can't talk about them. I can't show them. All right. So I'm going to stream for about another 15 or so minutes. I gotta do some stuff today. Why is slot car underrated? I can't tell you. Arc Air is wireless. Arc just means an app. Arc is not digital. Are there other controllers that will connect to? The controllers don't connect to the app. The controllers connect to the track connection piece. That's the issue. It's not the app. The app has nothing to do with it. If you're talking about wireless, that's different. The controllers, hey John, the controllers, wireless controllers don't connect to the app. They connect to the base piece, and that's how they. It's not that the ARC itself, the app itself, has nothing to do with the controllers. It's the wireless part that does. Okay, so and it's the track connection piece. It's not the app itself that connects to ARC because ARC itself is just an app. It's not wireless. ARC Air is wireless. Anyway, so there we are. Anybody else have any questions? We got a couple minutes here before I go. I have one too, Dave, but the trigger is hard in my case. Can I get a? Oh, you mean a trigger controller, like a Parma trigger controller? Hi, the Frankenslot. Yeah, I agree, Robert. Digital Racing Solutions is the best option for a basic controller for Carrera Digital. I have one here. I may actually give one of those away. I'm waiting for Digital Racing Solutions. I have a one that they sent me to do sort of a review of. Hello, John. Thank you very much for showing up. I have one that they sent me, and I have one myself that I've had forever. And I think the Digital Racing Solutions controller for Carrera Digital is absolutely fantastic. They absolutely, if you're racing Carrera Digital, you just need to buy the Digital Racing Solutions ramjet controller. You just do. It's fantastic. I would not race Carrera Digital with the standard controllers. I would do the Digital Racing Solutions controller. I like wired controllers, not wireless. So the spring inside that you asked about, yes, you can. If you can get another spring and fit in there that's about the right length, or you can maybe pull the spring out a little bit, you can adjust the tension on that. I mean, it's just a spring. Hello from Puerto Rico. Thank you very much for showing up from Puerto Rico. I'm a big fan. Karen and I, my wife and I went there on our honeymoon, and I love Puerto Rico. We stayed on the edge of Old San Juan. Hello, David. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for showing up. Thank you very much, Harry. Yes, Andre. Video games versus slot cars. I don't think we need to not blame kids for being excited about video games. Where can you get that controller? You mean the DS? This controller? Robert? LEB? Robert? Do you guys have these in stock? I'm sorry, I can't get to my my computer back there. If you can get the blue one. No, this you can't get. This is just a pretty much regular Parma controller that just says SCX on it. This was a set controller that we made years ago for SCX. There was a blue one and a red one that came with the set. No DeFalco's ramjet coming in, needs handles. Yeah, I know they told me they need handles. Yeah, that's tough. That's why I haven't done a giveaway for the ramjet yet, because Monty wanted me to wait until they got more products in. So I will be doing a giveaway with the ramjet controller, because I have a brand new one here that I don't need, and I want to give to somebody so they can enjoy it. So yeah, I will be doing a giveaway, but not right now. I'll probably do a live stream and talk about that controller a little more, and then do the giveaway after the live stream or whatever. Lane gates are really good, and their jumper cables. Yeah. Everything Digital Racing Solutions makes. If you haven't been to digitalracingsolutions.com, I mean, you can visit LEB. They have a lot of their stuff in stock. LEB supports me directly, and that means a lot. You know, it's been a tough year the last year and a half, losing my job and then taking the new job. The new job is great, but I did take a pretty significant pay cut getting to the new job. So all the support that LEB gives me, it means quite a bit to me, which is why I support them as much as I do. I'm a consultant for them. Despite what I've been accused of, I'm not an employee of theirs, right? I help them with some stuff, but I'm not on the staff there. There was some odd email back and forths I got. Someone was upset with me because I got samples from Scalextric and something about me working for one company and not kind of doing my own thing. Anyway, it's a little inside baseball there, but I support LEB, and people that support me, I need to support them, and I do. So LEB, please, or Slot Car Corner, they've supported me. I can't thank those guys enough for the help they've given me and the encouragement to do the news channels stuff. It means a lot to me that they've supported me as well, and I'm good friends with them. I've been good friends with them for more than a decade. Steve and the guys at Slot Car Corner, absolutely fantastic. I believe Alan Smith does have the DS controller. If you're interested in that controller, Dave really works for mounting data. Yeah, I'm a data miner. That's what I am. This controller, I think probably I don't know, it's probably out of date by now. It's pretty old, but it's my go-to controller. What do I know about the Racer brand of slot cars? They're fantastic. Years ago, Racer just made resin bodies that were really, really beautiful. A little oversized, but whatever. I mean, they were expensive. So the resin cars were great. A high-end product. That's cool. Now recently they've made sideways. So they made injection molded cars. LEB has started to carry those as well now, and that's fantastic. And they're basically a sideways car is basically like a slotted car or an NSR car. It's a car made for hobbyists. They're an excellent quality car. They are really, really nice cars. I'd put them right up there with NSR and right with slotted. Travis, that slot car guy. Remember, folks, visit that slot car guy. Sub to him on YouTube. Travis is a good guy. Travis asks thoughts of see you later, Harry. Thank you very much for stopping by. Time to light the grill. Indeed, sir. Thoughts on Le Mans miniatures? I have one or two, actually. I was given them. I did not buy them. I don't spend that much money on slot cars. Hey, Chuck. Thank you very much for stopping by. Appreciate it. Le Mans miniatures are beautiful. Exactly. Nice to look at. That's it. I mean, they're not really meant to be driven. They are. They're a slot car. All slot cars are meant to be driven. All slot cars probably should be driven, but they're a high-end car. It's not something that I would like personally. It's that kind of expense. It's really, really expensive. They're beautiful cars, but the quality of racing them, they're not. They're exactly like you said, exactly like Chris said. They're beautiful to look at. Need some cowbell for. Okay, I do have a drum set. I used to be a drummer, and I still have the drum set here somewhere. I have a cowbell for it. I do. More cowbell? Well, just one cowbell. All right, folks. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate everybody stopping by. All the likes. The the follows, all the comments. Definitely the best stream I've had. A lot of people stopped by today. Over 70 people, 75 people at one point. It means so much. It really does. It's fun to be able to talk about slot cars and to have people show up. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, John. It's just hold the Corvette up. Absolutely. Thank you, Paul. What's my Instagram? At Dave M. Kennedy. I'll put it in Dave MKENNEDY. There you go. You put an at in front of that. At Dave M. Kennedy on Instagram. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Garth. Thank you, Mara Slots. Thank you, Area 51. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Everybody, it means so much to me. And everyone's going to watch Indy. I don't have a prediction for Indy. I don't really follow Indy very much. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping for a good race. Sorry. Anyway, thank you all very much. Crashes, it's crashes are exciting, but you don't want to see people get hurt. So thanks again to everybody that's donated on my the red one, exactly, to my buy me a coffee. Extra tips here and there allow me to upgrade things. I'm going to buy some different lights hopefully fairly soon, and maybe a better mic because this one's a little questionable. Scott Dixon, yeah. Alrighty, folks, enjoy the rest of your day, and follow me on Instagram if you'd like, at Dave M. Kennedy, and see you all again soon. End stream.